Mrs. Rana and Mr. Ramin Sahrai, thank you very much for having us in Italy, in Milan. And today we're gonna talk about carpets, and we share very common values when we talk about carpets. And during our conversation, our audience will understand why I emphasize carpet. And let's start from the beginning of your brand of carpet. In 1830, Tehran Bazaar, poetry and art. How do these elements connect and contribute to the origin of the Sahrai brand?
First of all, thank you for coming from Baku to Milan to have this wonderful chat together. Well, it started, as you said, in 1830, our grandfather in the Bazaar of Tehran, where in our culture, poetry is always present. So you have it in the meetings, in the gatherings, in the family gatherings, in the business, and also on the carpets.
In the daily language, in our festivities.
As you have the same traditions, we have no rules, and you know what all this is about. So they started traveling worldwide. In those days, in a very slow way, because it took months to do the travels. And they were already international dealers, I would say.
Yeah. And this idea of passion of exclusive products and of traveling and of researching and seeking products and building relations worldwide has been going on through these generations, through the time. We always remember with our father and grandfather, there's always been connections also with Azerbaijan. So it's good. It's a working process, which of course in 2025 with the social media and the film has come into another perspective. But it's still one of these businesses which is very close to the roots, very close to the roots.
And it's not only a business, it's a passion. Because my sister and I, we never get tired of working. And even when we travel for leisure, we always have meetings with friends, clients, and we're always in search of new ideas. When we look for antique rugs, we look globally for them. So it's really a part of us. It's in our blood, it's in our culture.
What is the main idea and the philosophy behind the Sahrai carpet?
There are so many ideas, but I think the main idea is that it brings together something special in a house. Whatever kind of product we do nowadays, it can be a simple apartment or a huge villa, a yacht, a boat or presidential palace. We always, I think bringing Sahrai brings a little bit everything and everyone together, because the carpet is the base where you have all the furniture in the various areas. And I think, as Edgar Allan Poe said, it's the spirit of the apartment is the carpet. Mm-hmm. So it's a spirit, that's how I feel it. It's not just something that covers the floor or matches the sofa. It brings the family together, it brings the businesses together. This is a Sahrai carpet. This is my personal.
And also we listen to the client's taste, of course, because you have to feel well with your rug when you have that's your home where you live. It's not only what your interior designer suggests to you, but it's something you live with. I mean, the furniture, you will eventually change it over the years. But, quality rugs, they stay for a longer period of time. And you get used to them. And if you remove them also, maybe sometimes for cleaning purposes, then you want them back as soon as you go home, because they bring warmth into the house.
And after both of you took over the business, how was your idea change or differ from previous generation?
There's been a part of the customization which is different, but I still remember, I always feel like I'm very old when I talk about these things, but when we were dealing mostly with the antique rugs, once we would sell one of these antique rugs, we were very happy for the sales, but we were very unhappy because we would never see that rug again. So
they are one of a kind, you know, the
unique pieces that were not easy to find and not easy to find. And then I remember my dad one day said, "Oh, you're so sad. We're so happy you sold this rug, but you're so sad that you sold it. So let's do whatever is in your mind that you think that you really liked about this rug. Maybe you want to change it even. Draw it." I'm not a designer. I studied business communication. And then I will go to the best weavers in Iran and I will show them and I will say, "This is what my daughter or my son wants today." So this is how the evolution slowly started, and it got us where we are today, where we are not only making these collections, of course, with designers, but also like before when we were in the other showroom, clients come and say, "Oh, I want this design that you have in your catalog. I've seen this one." And so it really brings us happiness because now we are also carpet designers.
Yeah.
What's nice about it that it's never boring and repetitive because each project, each client has its own views, its own style. So we work with them and to find innovative solutions. And I think innovation is something that was new to the rugs business and started, as far as we are concerned, about 30 years ago with our older sister, who started creating, revisiting, not doing replicas, but getting inspirations and creating new designs and new color combinations. And this is ever going for us, and now also with our kids joining the business. They're the sixth generation, bringing a new mood, younger mood also to the collections.
And now we are in Heritage Forever showroom in Milan, and I know that it has special place in your life. Let's talk about this. Why this showroom special and unique for you?
Oh, we love it because as far as I'm concerned, when I started joining the family business, and I'm not going to say how many years back, but you might guess that it's not 5 years, it's maybe 6 or 7 years. No, I'm joking. It's 40 years back.
Yeah.
The rugs were the traditional ones. There was nothing that you could produce bespoke, and nothing that would be with a few designs. The more intricate the design would be, the more pricey the rug would be. So it's like a travel. It's 40 years, but it sounds like 400 years because dealing with antique rugs, which go back up to 500 years, and seeing the evolution of the market, which changes, the taste has changed globally, is really very interesting. And when I sit here, I feel at home because that's where everything started. And this is why we called it Heritage Forever.
Yes, and we always also, when we called it Heritage Forever, because we want to also distinguish ourselves as a family, as a brand, that we don't, because many people now associate us with modern carpets, but we always want to say, okay, of course we do and sell and produce a lot of modern carpets for our own brand and for other important brands, but we have the roots is the heritage. That's where it comes from. And when even we create a more simple rug, there is always a heritage. You cannot take out your roots. So it's also a concept, I think, about us as a brand and as a family of East meets West, because we are from Persia, of course, originally, and we are very proud of it. But at the same time, we lived most of our lives in the Western civilizations. And I think it's good because what we propose today, and our children even more than us, so we see another vision of the business in this world, the same products, but seeing with different color combinations. And that's what makes a Sahrai special, I think.
And you have two different showrooms in Milan, side by side. And I would like to continue our conversation there because I know that you have very nice and unique sixth generation works. So I would like to show this to our audience as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move there now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's continue about Azerbaijan. We have shared values about rugs and carpets. And Luxury Life Interiors is the official distributor of Sahrai rugs in Azerbaijan. So based on your orders from Baku, how would you describe your customers there in Azerbaijan?
So usually if we go through Luxury Life, as you're saying, we don't really see the end users because it's the showroom who's doing the selection and the purchases, but we usually see that they are very precise because we see that it's not quite, let's say, a fast-tracked process, selection. So we do meet some Azerbaijani clients here in Milan, so we get to know the mentalities, which are quite close to the Persian ones because we are, as we said before, neighbors. But they are a little bit, I might say, less emotive. Maybe that's I don't know if I should say, maybe that's the Russian part. Maybe they're more strict. So, but apart from that, I don't see.
But we started working with the family owners of Luxury Life about 12 years ago. And I must say we have a very close and good relationship because, as my sister just said, we are close in terms of mentality between our countries. And the clients, I must say, worldwide share the taste because it's a global market nowadays. With some specific needs, maybe some specific areas of the house get a little bit more classical. And whereas the living room and all the family areas are mostly modern oriented.
Do they have specific patterns or colors?
No. They really stick to, when you come to Sahrai, you usually stick to our color guides, let's say. And I must say, since Luxury Life carries the best Italian brands, so we are really parallel with that. So it's mostly the Italian touch, the very light colors, the tone on tone. We rarely get anything different than what we get from, as my brother said, from the other parts of the world, unless it's custom, but this is also very rare.
Because being based in Milan, everything starts from here, so it's Italian style oriented. So mostly the colors that the clients prefer are the earth colors, natural colors. And this is the trend nowadays. And then, of course, you have someone who adds a touch of color, but mostly that's how it works now.
But I think that's also when the client selects Sahrai, because if they want to have something very colorful or oriental, then they might find something locally, as we said before, because you have a local production or something more locally. But this is more question of design. And the Mammadov family, they're very good into architecture and designing, and they have their own interior designers too. So it's something really special what we do with them as a collaboration.
And many years ago, carpets, rugs for families, they were very valuable investment, right? And what about now?
Now it depends on the quality. Of course, if you buy a Sahrai rug, it's not something that lasts only a couple of years. So it all depends on the quality of the material and how the rug is made. Because generally they say a handmade rug, but it doesn't mean much. It depends all on how it is manufactured. I would say that the Sahrai rugs of today would be the valuable antique rugs of the future, because we, in our family, we always put quality as a first objective. So even if the pattern is modern, the quality is still the same as a traditional Persian rug.
But I understand what you mean, that in the past, the antique rugs or the Persian rugs was seeing, or something, they would give it as a gift for a wedding, because it was something more like a precious object, like a jewel. Nowadays, these modern collections, they're more like something that adds, it's more decorative, so it adds more something to the decoration of the house. Maybe the more heritage and the Parsa rugs remain in that category of investment for the future. But then there's also something we need to focus on, is that the level of the clients that Luxury Life has is an international client. So originally, or he's living or she's living in Baku, but then they travel worldwide. They might have houses in London, in the south of France. So it's really a global world, and we get to see these kind of clients all the time.
And as I mentioned, Azerbaijan and Iran also shared common values about carpets, because it's very important for us as well. And we have history of carpet waving, let's say, and passed down through generation. And do you have your favorite ornament of carpet? Azerbaijani carpet I'm talking about.
We would have more on the Persian side, if we have to be honest. But that's
at the end, they're all very connected to each other, because on the Iranian side, there is also Azerbaijan, as you know.
Yeah.
And Tabriz is one of the major cities where rugs are produced. So now you have these, boundaries which didn't exist before. So it's pretty much the same spirit. It's not distinguished by frontier
or politics.
And those kind of patterns, we use them as inspiration for mostly our Parsa collection that we have seen before in the other showroom.
And let's talk about cheap, fake, low-quality carpets, because you know that there are so many that kind of carpets in the market. And some customers, even aiming to save money, they prefer that kind of carpets. It's not everyone knows about that. And what do customers truly gain when they invest in a unique, high-quality carpet?
It's a little bit like every other good. If you can buy original Italian furniture, you can, in the fashion world, you can buy original goods, or you can go for the fake, cheaper ones. This depends on your own values, on the budget that you have, of course. But Sahrai rugs are not for everyone. So it's like Luxury Life furniture is not for the people who are much into the saving side of the market.
This being said, we have levels of collections. We have entry prices with our 6th gen collection, which is a brand new collection that our children launched 2 years ago, just to have something of a high quality, but with an entry price to be also competitive on the market. Of course, not with the cheap, the low, the copy, the machine made, but something interesting, because as they are, of course, much younger than us, they think that all their friends, they would like to have a Sahrai carpets too, but they cannot wait until they're 40 to get a Sahrai carpet. In the meantime, they are studying and proposing these new collections, which I must say have their part of success too. To have an entry price, like in all the brands. In all the brands, you have the top of the line, and then you have the entry
we
price.
have seen also many of our clients who started maybe a little bit being hesitant, because most people don't know about rugs. So they started with let's say the entry price carpets, and then you get the taste, you get a little bit maybe older, and then once you feel the difference in quality, then you appreciate it. It's like everything.
And what were the biggest challenges and success for your family when they started expanding internationally?
Yes, but if you look at the pictures that we have here, it started from our grandfather, the gentleman on the left, who used to travel in those days to Istanbul, which was the major market, and also all the way to Russia, St. Petersburg and Moscow. So this is a travel that started many years back, and this is why we decided to call this showroom Heritage Forever, because our family started in 1830. And it came naturally because there were worldwide clients also then. So they had to travel, and those trips would take months. They would go visit the clients, and there were exchanges between the different areas, passing also through Azerbaijan and going all the way to northern Russia. And then in the late 50s, our father, who's on this picture up here, started exporting to the European markets. And we, my sister and I, we grew up in Europe. So since 1964, when I was 1 year old, we live in Europe. And what is very interesting is that now in our new creations, we really make East meet West. So we have our traditional know-how, and we are linked to the traditional way of weaving rugs. But we are also Europeans because we grew up here in Europe.
How does silk compare to wool or other materials in terms of durability?
Okay, durability is not an issue because silk is as durable as wool. There's always the idea in the mind of the end consumer that the silk must be more delicate because they think about the clothing. But silk is as resistant in a carpet than wool. Only wool is a little bit rougher, of course, because it's wool. But otherwise, in terms of durability, there is no difference.
And do you have special care techniques for silk carpet?
Not differently than the wool ones.
As a sixth generation member, what new ideas or trends have you brought to Sahrai?
So basically 2 years ago, we first launched our 6th gen collection. So we brought a new collection into the Sahrai world. And by creating this collection, we wanted to really work on the textures of the rug instead of the design. So new textures like jute, linen, rugs in all wool. So that was the first thing that we wanted to do. And then we really worked on new colors, trendy colors of the moment, and the designs that we thought that could be trendy and cool and never seen before within the Sahrai world.
It sounds very exciting. So let's talk about your work. How does it differ from the previous generation? Could you please show and explain it?
Yes, of course. So here we have some of the 6th gen rugs. So this rug is called Champagne because all the 6th gen rugs are named after cocktail drinks as well. So it's something new and trendy compared maybe to the other generations. So our parents that were more
conservative,
conservative, sophisticated name. They're still sophisticated, but in a trendier and more fun way. Here we also have the Bellini rug. So we really try to work on the textures instead of the design. Here it's an all-wool rug. Of course, it's all hand-knotted, and you can customize it in different colors. So here we have the ivory one, but you can also customize it in pink, green, powder blue, and that's the trendiest part, I think, of this design.
So I decided to join the family company and the 6th generation last year. So I joined a little bit after. And once I saw this project, I really fell in love with it because looking at the previous rugs that were launched, they seem fresh, exciting, and more for our generation, so a younger crowd. So when I joined, we also launched with our ideas combined new rugs. For example, the champagne rug. We really like this one because it's fun, and I like the fact that it's completely customizable and it brings a fresh look for any environment. What goals or project are you excited to work on in the future? In the future, I'd love to focus more on the expansion of the brand, so becoming a really worldwide company where people can, because now it's mostly on e-commerce in the world that we live, so I want people to be able to touch and feel these unique rocks in person all over the world.
For me, this idea is very nice, and I completely agree with Dana. But since I really work on the digital part of the brand for now, I really like what I'm doing. So for me, it's super important to do events where the company is really showing the latest novelties, the newest creations, or organizing fairs, and it's still expansion, but I really want to focus on the digital part, so newsletters, social media, and that Sahrai can really be famous also on the different apps and on the internet as well.
Let's talk about your collaboration with luxury brands like Armani Casa, and share your experience with them.
Since many years we have been collaborating with the Italian fashion brands for their home collections, like Armani Casa and Elisa Maison. It's very interesting because we receive the input from them, and then together we make these new creations which are specific to the brand. We meet each other early. When I mean early, it means before the Salone del Mobile, which takes place in April. So the summer, we start talking to them, choosing the colors, choosing the designs, and then we produce some samples. We look at them, analyze them, and decide what is the line that will be presented for the Salone del Mobile.
What do buyers in Milan expect from your brand, and how do you meet their needs?
Buyers in Milan and also worldwide expect innovation from Sahrai. We have to be the trendsetters in terms of everything, the pattern, the design, the textures that we put together, and most of all, the quality has to be top.